So if you wait for money, you need for already get plans where money come outside, that money get for go. If you wait for family, you need for also begin for live the lifestyle like somebody who is waiting for family, meaning you have to save, you have to plan, and you have to stop a lot of other bad things. If you wait for opportunity, it means say when that opportunity come, you need for able ready for grab them and take the next big leap. If you wait for your next big idea, it means say if you wait for the idea, the things that we need for finance that idea, they for take the ideas and forward, you already need for begin gather, you already need for begin finance. So when the idea come, you just straight on move into action. So you need to ask yourself today, what kind of person I want to be whilst at the wait? I want to be an impatient person, or I want to be somebody whilst at the wait I have good attitude whilst I'm waiting, and I also they constantly prepare myself for whatever I am waiting for. So waiting is not such a bad thing anyway. You just have to develop which attitude you want for really get whilst you wait. This is the Epic Morning Show. We'll be right back.
See, Lord, in your holy name we pray, and come find within. Come down, Judger. Like I know you are the master. Come down, Judger.
In a world where only the sharpest minds survive, Cowbell Dairy Products is delighted to present the Cowbell Capucines Challenge, a remarkable inter-secondary school quiz competition that brings Freetown secondary schools together to compete for the ultimate prize. The theme for this competition is nurturing the spirit of patriotism through civic education. This isn't your average quiz. It's an extraordinary showdown of intellects and wits. Who will claim the coveted grand prize and of course those all-important bragging rights? Get ready for a whirlwind of challenging questions, exhilarating rounds, and moments that will leave you in awe. As if that's not enough, we have fantastic prizes like trophy, cash, and Cowbell products up for grabs. It's not just a competition, it's a celebration of knowledge and talents. Mark your calendars for November 16 and 17, 2023 at the FPC Multipurpose Hall beginning at 9 a.m. sharp daily. Come cheer for your school, support your friends, and be part of the excitement. Cowbell Capucines Challenge, engaging hearts, equipping minds. Proudly sponsored by Cowbell. Cowbell, a creamy goodness.
Cowbell, a creamy goodness.
Today we'll continue a conversation about state-owned enterprises and how they have failed and why they have failed, and waiting we will do for resuscitate them if they need resuscitation anyway. Telecoms and transportation sector now one of the biggest sectors in the country and economy, with potential for generate huge revenues. In fact, once upon a time, Sierra Leone government was getting a lot of revenue from these two sectors. I mean, still we are getting some revenue from it, a lot of revenue by the way. But much of the sector really is now controlled by private players. In Sierra Leone, mobile companies, they make huge profits in billing, etc. And public transportation is also a very, very lucrative and good business, given the need for let people move across the country. And of course, this is a country who say more people and they will not get motorcar compared to the one that will get motorcar. And so public transportation itself is a good business, but public transportation and communication is firmly in the hands of private sector. Why exactly? It didn't just happen overnight, or once upon a time, government was very, very active in those sectors. In fact, with telecom, Sierratel for a very long time, now they control the gateway, they were in charge. In fact, even right up to radio frequencies at some point until NatCom itself was established. So this was a good business for government in itself, but over the years, 20 years down the line, Ceratel as a company now is no longer viable, and then it gets huge debt around its neck. Public transportation in the form of SLRTC in the last 15 years, APC government, SFP government, both governments combined on by over 350 buses. A lot of those buses now park in a garage across the country. Some of them park in the SLRTC compound because they don't break down. And so culture of maintenance as well. So all of these reasons are reasons that we really don't impact the way state-owned enterprises are run. So what do we do to fix state-owned enterprises? How do we transform from the losses to profit? So when we come next, we'll have this conversation with Irish Legal and Policy Analyst Hassan Kalon, Honorable Ambrose Madalebi, the chairman for the Oversight Committee for Transport and Aviation. Then we get Lance Papa Kamara, Director of Corporate and Industry Affairs, NATCA. This is the Epic Morning Show.
Though they say we go tire while we are
All right, wherever you are, don't forget you can also be a BNB agent. Now with BNB, you can now be your own boss. We just use smartphone, become an agent with your BNB POS today and get access to all we services. You can pay BNB, RIA, MoneyGram, Western Union, and other codes. Send money locally and overseas. Cash in, cash out, mobile money, send to POP and EDSA. And if you get any inquiry or any difficulty, just call the number 072-500-000. But don't forget, you have to start all of this by downloading the BNB app in the first place from the App Store, or you go now Apple Store as well, where you can get it. BNB POS, you shop now, you pocket. Good morning, gentlemen. So, of course, the countdown to Epic Carnival continues. December 16 at Monjasa Park for 50,000 euros. Ticket is out now, so you can call we on 078247148 or 0799949993, and so we can pick your calls and deliver your tickets wherever you are. Ultimix is a night of fun, games, and everything more as well. Come meet your favorite DJs as well. But that's not the only thing on board, because December 23 as well, it will be the beach party for all October, November, and December. But the celebrants at Beach Cafe, so you have loads of enjoyment. So just mark your calendar just for us on 16 and 23. All right, let me move straight into a conversation here this morning. Good morning, Hassan.
Good morning, Gerard. Good morning, listeners and viewers.
All right, good morning, Mr. Papa.
Good morning, Mr. Gerard, and good morning, listeners and viewers.
So let me start with you. Today one for zoning the conversation on transport and telecoms. These are sectors that we are cash cow really for the private sector. Why feel say government institution within the sector over the decades don't fail?
I think that's a very interesting question, because the transport and communication sector importance to move in the rest of the economy can hardly be overstated. I mean, let's face it, we do clean, picking and they go school, they need transport. Market women and they run for go markets, they need transport. I mean, communications, I'm talking about this. Well, even what we're doing now is part of the communications domain generally. So it's a long history. In terms of government, state-owned enterprises and parastatals and failure in Africa, for instance, is systemic. I mean, from the 70s and 80s, we grappled with a lot of things, from what they call commercialization to privatization to failure, and ultimately, a lot of them either disband or maybe they come in other guises. So, in terms of why they don't fail, I think corruption cannot be had from the conversation. You're not going to do harm far, because over time, we don't really place enough premium on ensuring that those institutions are run like proper institutions. Because, when you go back to the Public Financial Management Act of 2016, state-owned enterprises are actually defined broadly as public public enterprises, sorry. Now, they get value where they're supposed for add. So it can be job creation, it can be paying dividends to government, it can be, you know, employment and all that. But over time, you know, institutions like Saratel, like the Sierra Leone Road Transport Corporation, they've not been run like businesses. Now, if you talk to somebody from the private sector, he will tell you, say, for let you maximize profits, you need to put efficiency at the core of your business operations. But if a business is not run efficiently, and you not believe, say, you for manage them well in terms of recruitment, appointments, promotions, then it's going to fail. I mean, just go on a street and talk to anybody who get maybe 10 puda, how will they manage them? If you not get a reward and merit-based system that is objective, where appraisal-based, where they ensure, say, if this driver know they do well, I know they promote them, in fact, they sack them, that business is going to fail. So it's been a long litany of woes. We don't get to Usa with this. So not a simple answer. But I think the most succinct way for Putam is mismanagement.
Yeah. And let me come to you, Mr. Kamara, because una the telecom sector as well. How una don't left watch Seratel till it don't come to this point as well. That's a question where a lot of people will be asking. Una as regulators, you've also supervised and watched other private companies come into the same marketplace and thrive.
Yeah, actually, Mr. Nyale, communication field is a very robust field, very challenging field, very competitive field. And Saratel, for quite a long of times, we've been on the existing. For one driver, I think I go in the line of my brother where the main traditional, we not get for left corruption out. We're our main factor. And then Saratel is 100% owned by government. If that's so, if a government, they put somebody for manage Saratel overseas, that person should be a communication engineer. I think that's the part where we get all wrong. And because the former MD they put is not a communication engineer, so he actually don't know how the company they run. So even if things to go bad, he's not able for identify him because he's not a communication engineer. And that's give me the other problem. Then secondly, the wage bill being too high. They talk of a 60 to 70 million per month, just a MD. Then the list gets something like 48 million per month. Then the staff who they spill them blood and sweat every day, they get 1.8 million per month, even forget themselves. As I tell you, as I tell go 13 months without salary. To God be like glory, we get a vibrant minister by the name of Madam Salima Monomaba, very vibrant. I think I had a compassion for Saratel staff. And then they don't get a first meeting between Saratel 2 weeks back, Thursday. A good day, and when they take up a ministerial position, the first way point out, oh, Saratel is going down every day. And it's going down to a point now, if a government not coming, there's going to be trouble, there's going to be a disaster for the workers. So he step in. For labor, if we can't talk to you first, a pushing for labor get 5 months salary. It's very passionate for Saratel, get good heart for me. But government say, okay, we're able to pay 2 months for able to give all. So for labor for soft to mind, they pay out 2 months for able to talk to me. Actually, you get meetings with a very successful meeting. And there is a hope. I know there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Because you know, see, with that minister, Saratel get forget a point where everybody will appreciate. Though the privatization process they go on now, but to left and to government. But one for blame government say they abandoned me for so long, we don't struggle so much. Say Saratel and them picking, make them no left and so. I can always pull it parable say, Saratel and government one get picky them born per communication. All other communication come in and men picking there. See if you left you picky one get picky born awake in the morning coding and body is not the one you know 6 minutes for his own language and it's up and they but the more they beg for it. Then they ask me, Papa, then say looking Papa and I do well. So why left you picking the peg issue? So we go blame them. If you then put a management they run Saratel and they run well, now then decision for change them and run Saratel well. Saratel been done there in a high point where nobody not able to compete to. I tell you, Mr. Nally. Saratel been get 5 different platform of service that generate to the public. As I tell you, all 4 of those are grounded completely. Now, one they manage by something like 40% now when at the fiber optic. And as I tell you, no more get infrastructure in this country because this infrastructure has been built for ages. So if one doing communication, only Saratel do them. So we get a lot of platform that they generate to the public way. If you can't let it fall so people in a surprise. Saratel workers don't suffer a lot now, but 11 staff have don't lost so now. No, we're not saying that God they take life, but actually then staff them don't lost. So most of them are because of medical facilities. One of the staff who lost now alongside, they spill blood from my nose and mouth. They cry, say if na me 1 year leave, self na give me by then there will be 3 year leaves and 9 months salary. Then they will get them money pass off. Other one back died in a corner. We lost 2 staff in just 1 week. The suffering is too much. Homes then don't break, family then don't go astray, picking and go school again. People and picking the staff then picking and get requirement for go college. They never go college. Now I get one staff who complain to me, get 2 of him picking and 1 don't drop after school now, and the 1 able for manage for. It's so pathetic. People now the exchanges in the sleep now, as they tell you so. They don't get side for sleep. Neighbor parents. The problem is plenty, Mr. Nale. Also, they play to government. It looks like so to be the talk and do. I think it's beginning to manifest in Saratel now. We are praying and hoping that it will come to pass because the preparation process they go on now. So we look up to government that they will continue for Duam and they will release Saratel for come back to its leg again.
So one of the things is, I mean, people always don't. We all longer this myth that government are bad businessmen. You look at a country like China, for example, a lot of the investments, home and abroad, the Chinese government they hand the pan deeply, and those businesses are thriving globally, domestically as well. I mean, they get cases of failure as well. Let's not forget that. But largely, you say the success overshadow the failure. So it shows that if government structure them well, perhaps they can also do that well.
Absolutely, I agree. You know, just before I even go further, you know, my brother, they talk about Saratel being government in Seoul, Peking, in terms of communications. That's great. But, you know, in 2004, I then leased Saratel for privatization. And since then, it's been one tail of woe after the other. And by the way, you know, government sanctioned a financial performance report on state-owned enterprises by 2020 with the release. And when you look at Saratel, the figures, it makes for sorry reading. So yes, prayer is good. Entreaties to God good, but trust me, that's not the way we go solve with problems. It's not when we go cap in hand with a big everybody in the international community for come to aid and ask for solve with problems. That's not the way we solve the problems of Sierra Leone. It's when we put in place serious measures. We know, say, there's an act to establish all of these institutions. There is a national privatization law of 2002, Act number 12, which obviously, with all of waiting there, unfortunately, I'm not seeing the honorable member of parliament here.
Yes, hopefully, we are hoping to get him.
It's an opportunity I was looking forward to, you know, having him and seeing what's the role that parliament can play. Because I think we have to go beyond mere prayers. You know, then rhetorics, then they, now I don't get salute to us out there. Over 60 years, we're still grappling for the most basic necessities. If we want to be serious, now, I'll just give you some figures quickly. We will shock you. Now, by up to 2020, we then released this report. It was covering a 4-year gap between 2014 and 2018. Then say for Saratel, turnover depreciated from 215.6 billion in 2014 to 66.9 billion in 2017. That's over 100% depreciation. From 2014, the turnover was 215.6 billion, and it reduced to 66.9. I mean, this was an institution where they operate practically on debt. As we speak, Saratel, what you owe just creditors outside, are $50 million. I mean, it's on life support. We can't continue running this country this way. As much as it's good for let government bail out these institutions, but also it behoves government. If they continue for put money and things are not going the way they should, then you need to ask hard questions. I think that this is why then conversation is important. Because every 5 years with a clamor, we vote. And everybody, they dance and jubilate and hope in party win. But beyond elections, we have to talk about governance. And when we talk about governance, it's about the national cake and how Sierra Leonean citizens. Because look now, the private sector, now they drive transport, now they drive communications. Orange AfriCell, what they say goes. I mean, just the other day, them post something about a win in their language. They say a win. But yesterday or the day before, you see there's been a huge upshot in the price of data and voice calls in this country. So if Saratel being there in operations and they do the work we're supposed to do. Now the way you go to school, there's a public operations. One of the reasons why they establish them are for provide essential services to people at reduced cost. So a government can get dividends. But I mean, it's not surprising that over this period, government has not gotten a single cent. In fact, our government, they continue to bail out
Yeah.
these institutions.
And that's the problem. So sometimes government as well, they lost leverage because, for example, when you look at telecoms, when you look at transport, na private sector they drive, and which is good for the private sector. But government they lost leverage. I mean, we've had days who say driver and say we know they go work because of this. We are not satisfied with, let's say, costs of fuel. There was a point, and then this whole city is grinded to a halt because you not get enough government buses for shuttle people to work.
Absolutely. In fact, the worst mistake you could do right now, for say the travel using a government bus, you probably go spend a journey away for take 2 hours. You go last the 6-7 hours. You know, because SLRTC, I mean, we don't know now. Say government wants there's privatization going on and all that, and it's sad. I feel say Sierra Leone we don't get a long history of institutions we don't fail, and they don't fail not by accident. It's by deliberate and continuous neglect and mismanagement. Government over government. This is why this advocacy is not really directed at one particular, say, party or SLPP now, then the lead power now. No. The APC is also part of governance. The APC is in parliament. And by the way, I applaud the opposition for taking their seats yesterday in parliament. I think it shows that we can now move on to governance. We can now move on to national development. We can now move on to asking President Bio the hard questions because he has a mandate for 5 years. And that clock, they tick.
From una young case with Nasiratel, we understand so una get a lot of technical experience really. We perhaps some other companies they not be even get at some point. So it's not advantages and the way you feel safe for don't take Nasiratel further than it is now.
Yeah, like for example, as I mentioned, the fiber optic installation as Nasiratel Nomagada infrastructure. So in that fiber optic, they like now they connect the banks and the filling stations. If one do a fiber connection, you can't do it without Nasiratel. So the infrastructure been done lay down for ages. So the kind of money been done they make it plenty. Like the MiFi with the handheld, one of the services I mentioned, the handheld device, we they move whereabout anywhere.
And then you see other companies like Orange and Africa also get to
all
the
get
market.
the same thing. So the competition is so high. So
Yes.
as a national government not be for allow other government. It's not bad for letting them prosper. Prosperity not a bad thing. But if then they prosper, just be mindful that Sierratel also is in existence, for left them out.
Well, the accusation really around Sierratel now that Sierratel got to a point where una grow so comfortable that una nobody even innovate anymore. Like real competition, I feel like government need for the protect una in the market.
You're quite right, sir. And this world a competitive world. If Sierratel been they do well, it means like see when Sierratel one game in D, because there was a time when if you want communication, there was no way except Sierratel. We then be making long lines them for communicate. But I think a better way competition come. I think it make a shock we. It make us stand back on our legs. But when the competition can unable for match up with them, just because of my government supposed to do that. And the management know them put, I can say they don't feel all this while. But I want to reflect back when we get a MD, when they do so well, Mr. Edward CC. They don't left Nigeria Orange now. If they do so well, but when governance change, governance in this country, when they change, just expect see many staff get for lose their job. And when I check about 13 staff lose their job, not because of incompetency, just because I would say like tribe, region, when to me party, what of sort of that. So they all go. And when they go now, even Mr. Solomon Jarima will commend them. He said, no, this man should not go. This man should stay. This man is grounded in communication. Let him continue. I think they didn't listen to him. So that man had to go, and with other staff, and his vibrant staff, they all for go. They all get for go. So when they come in, as I mentioned, they are not communication engineers. So they failed woefully because they don't know what they do. I can tell you, so get grounded engineers, then grounded managers, then technicians, then we na Sierratel we defend them. So installation they do them cameras, then PABX na Sierratel they get technicians, then they go ask for every day. Now them bring and they drain every day. Some people are not tired. So engineers then even not left them find job other side. Because then they now don't get nothing for do. Go na money and sign and come. They go na money and sign and come. And they get work for do. So I go blame government enough allow the national communication company like Sierratel for falsehood. If you see there is a problem, then for rectify him. If you see this man is not performing, get rid of him and find somebody who's more better.
And one of the things is that at some point when the world was really moving away to new technologies, Sierratel was still stuck with CDMA, something we perhaps also lead to the demise of our network as we know it, whilst everybody else is on GSM.
Okay, I think one of the main blame we then blame this government. Though now the management become with the idea they for go for CDMA. I think now the former MD been go. We say not be happy. CDMA and not get factory support anymore. Because the world they do deal with GSM. Now people ask, why Sarah tell you to go for CDMA, they left GSM. Even the customer that are streets. Sarah tell you na day, we say yes. Say bonus, what they do CDMA. So like a provocation, it's an embarrassment to us because this is not GSM all. Why Sarah tell go for CDMA instead of GSM? And now GSM they operate now. If they Sarah tell me don't get GSM at that time, like I mentioned, additional for be far away. We get different platform of service we generate to the public. It plenty number 5 I mentioned additional. If you don't have be the effective one, and they say even this news about the talk about privatization are bad news for other communication coming in because robust markets are the tell about communication very challenging. If they see Sarah tell they come up soon, I'm not thinking of good news for them. Let's go worry because if Sarah tell kick because they get the best service, even they might find out the best now real 4G. If they use themselves on plasma TV, you know, say this is a very effective service. This. So if then the RCS is coming up, they're heading for privatization. I think that news is not to welcome news for them because they challenge the market, they make the market.
A lot of the time, Hassan, when things get tough with public institutions, the first attempt from government is to sell it off to private companies, privatize them, and pull their hand and cut their losses. But is that always the solution? Because at some point, government aiming for balance, providing services and also letting these institutions make profits.
You know, that's a very interesting argument as well. Because, you know, what's they call divestiture in law. Now, way government they decide, or maybe a public company decides, say, no, we won't give up some of our assets then. So it could be a number of maybe joint ownership agreements or arrangements and all that. It can be in various ways. Now, what's important in all of those processes? Now, how much due diligence una do. You know, it's not just doing it for the sake of doing it. Because Bokutem, government don't take, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. This time, salon, we say anything when our public sector related, we think say no to nobody get it. Anything when our government, we say nobody know for care about it. In fact, even when you go out on the streets, just then our public boss or something that's government related, and somebody do some crazy thing and when you talk, they say, no, not tell me nothing. This is our government property.
I mean, from how to street pump and self now area.
Absolutely. This has been the attitude of Sierra Leoneans for so long, and it's been superintended by government after government after government. Now, there's a process. The privatization law, it's there. It makes very explicit provisions on how do we, you know. So when you want even see, okay, this company, is it liquid anymore? They got liquidity issues. You get insolvency issues. Able to pay in debts there in the short term or long term.
Because Sarah tell us we know it's now the liability too boku that.
Too much.
Nobody will not even touch it to the 10 foot.
Well, that's the problem. Because we don't know in this country, we say somebody, people don't go negotiate contracts on behalf of we for 99 years. They give tax rebates unending. Until then company then just, you know, shut up shop one day and go away. And we left Sierra Leoneans in the lodge. I think what's important, and that's why these conversations are good. How do we, as a people, and we take off with green and red garb. Politics is done. Let we ask the hard questions. Nobody knows they do anybody a favor. So even while they hear me brother, they say, oh, the minister has been very magnanimous. That's cool. But she's only doing her job, right? So we ask that.
A job with government for don't do long before
long before now. In fact, it's coming so long. Now, like go the bolts the door after the horse don't come on a door. You see? So, if we need for privatize, you get business case models that we'll need for use. Is this efficient? Wouldn't have the potential company where, even when we do BOT now, we do build, operate, and transfer. Yes. Some of those, if you subject them to forensic analysis, you know, they stand the test of time.
I'm looking at a deal right now where, for example, with government, they into with auto spec, when they provide driving license and a lot of other things and we related to motor car and safety really. And the indications we are getting from those operating in the sector is not nice. Now high prices, sometimes some of the things that we really need self not available in country. And this is a very controversial agreement, just like so many other government contracts.
Absolutely. And sometimes, depending on who you speak to, you know, then agreements, then they can be split in the middle. And more often than not, when people, the officials, the professionals, they go into these agreements or negotiations, the interest, sometimes, not to salon, you know, in better one. Sometimes it's the kickbacks. What do I stand to gain? How much percentage comes back into my pocket? Unfortunately, we've had that with far too many agreements. So I think this is a good opportunity. There is a bill now being piloted. It's not yet, it's in the works, the state enterprise bill. We need to take advantage of this opportunity. We need to take privatization seriously. If you talk to people in the private sector, and there's no way we go able to run businesses well if you not get a business mindset. Now, when you go to the NCP Act, it tells you that whoever you appoint as the head of the NCP is supposed to get some private sector mindset. Somebody will understand what is privatization. But look at the names of people who've headed the institution over the years. Look at them people and look at the background of some of those individuals. And ask yourself, can these individuals really to pretend over privatization to the extent that Sierra Leoneans could benefit from it?
All right, stay with me. This is the Epic Morning Show. We'll be right back.
Do you want to be your own boss? Or do you want to add more services to your business? Then look no further, because BNB is here for you.
What do you mean?
With BNB, you can now make money with just your smartphone. With the new revolutionary app, BNB POS, you can do remittance, bill payments, EDSA airtime top-up, and many more. All this from your smartphone, anywhere you want.
This sounds great.
That is not just all. The app also features real-time agent rebalancing and reconciliation.
Oh wow! But how can I get the BNB POS and start making my own money?
It's so simple. You can download the application on App Store or Google Play Store. Just search for BNB POS and download. Then call our customer service on 072 500 000, and within a short period of time, our agent will help you for the onboarding process.
Wow, no time to waste. Let me do this right away.
Oh yes, start making money today from anywhere in Sierra Leone. For more inquiries, contact our customer service on 072 500 000.
With BNB POS, you shop na your pockets.
In a world where only the sharpest minds survive, Cowbell Dairy Products is delighted to present the Cowbell Capucines Challenge, a remarkable inter-secondary school quiz competition that brings Freetown secondary schools together to compete for the ultimate prize. The theme for this competition is nurturing the spirit of patriotism through civic education. This isn't your average quiz. It's an extraordinary showdown of intellects and wits. Who will claim the coveted grand prize and of course those all-important bragging rights? Get ready for a whirlwind of challenging questions, exhilarating rounds, and moments that will leave you in awe. As if that's not enough, we have fantastic prizes like trophy, cash, and Cowbell products up for grabs. It's not just a competition, it's a celebration of knowledge and talents. Mark your calendars for November 16 and 17, 2023 at the FPC Multipurpose Hall beginning at 9 a.m. sharp daily. Come cheer for your school, support your friends, and be part of the excitement. Cowbell Capucines Challenge, engaging hearts, equipping minds. Proudly sponsored by Cowbell. Cowbell, a creamy goodness.
Cowbell, a creamy goodness.
Una not ready for the biggest enjoyment this Christmas? Join the biggest household name, the #1 radio station as alone, Epic Radio. They come with the biggest, the hottest, the finest, and the sweetest carnival title, all till mix carnival. So come and mingle with sober-minded people from different angles. Saturday, December 16, the big carnival will take place. Now Moriton playing field. Jump 6 o'clock evening time, everything gonna begin. Come and chill with the favorite presenter. Come take a nice picture with all the biggest celebrity there. Come and party with the Sierra Leone finest DJ Wonder, Come Move and DJ Butu, DJ Nice, and other well-qualified DJ and band for you. Come get the ticket now for 50 new Leons that Epic Radio within a 54A off-field control. So if you want for no more, tune to Epic Radio every day for more updates or follow with on social media for exclusive content and Goku surprise. Come and be part of this historical event. So join Epic Radio with all Team Mix Carnival. Epic Radio, so refreshing.
All right, welcome back. This is Epic Morning Show. They come to you live here on Epic Radio 99.3 FM. This morning, we are having a conversation about state-owned enterprises, and we are focusing on transport and the telecom sector. And in the studio with me, I get Hassan Kalon from IGR and Anzana Kamara as well from Seratel as well, an engineer. We don't work with them for years. And here on we Facebook page, Cliff Dumbuya is saying, even in advanced countries, transport and telecom sectors are run by private companies. One of the ways for improving efficiencies through competition. It says Seratel been thrive when there was a monopoly, and when the competition come now, then suddenly una crash. I think that's the summary of his message. We been expect Honorable Ambrose Manalebi here, when I chairman for the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Transport and Aviation. We not see him, but I think we'll call him, and my producers will try to get him on the line as soon as possible. With Seratel now, una would work with it for years now. Una still feel say the company gets a future, even if they privatize them, or it's better government just fold them up and maybe start up something entirely new.
Mr. Nyalewe, they talk of full of staff they read now and listeners them to this program, they go feel bad because Mr. Nyalewe not make short statement.
I mean, emotions aside, we look at the viability of the company.
Well, I say Seratel is like a sleeping lion. The infrastructures are there. Just
crumbling infrastructure.
Yeah, it's crumbling. But
and because it crumble, it means say nobody no go be enthusiastic for Kanteka.
No, it's somebody do enthusiastic because as I tell you now, there is a privatization process which is going on.
Which has lasted over 10, 11 months.
No, this is a new one. A
Okay.
new one, yeah. I make us you can understand properly. The new one away the NCP chairman, Mr. Dr. Prince Adin, as I've been saying, it was just an ordinary NCP chairman. Now you don't get a cabinet level where they performing duty well now. Now they even move with the Arab people.
Well, that cabinet level just mean more money and remuneration for them.
Well,
They're not really changing function.
No, when I'm not officially getting power more because you're not been the move. I don't want to go deep within have been the reason.
Okay.
But you're not been the move now. But I see they move now with the people and go to the minister. Then one language now, they speak one language. Then they move well. And we don't see they don't visit all the side then at the country. And the former minister of there, Mr. Radu Swage, now they do this privatization process. And they don't do a go get last meeting which said it's privatization process and go to 99.9%. Then from 99.9% I don't go to 0%. So the staff that don't so become hungry, then they even get a nickname. So we start 99.9% before they transfer going to labor now. So we not see nothing. So this now they see, this new minister don't come, we'll not be the see this story that happens so now. From like come for straight away from 13 months, they pay 2 months straight, he even advocate for 5 months, now 2 months they pay. They don't come, I don't pay 2 months. We don't see, don't get meeting with we. Don't see the people out there on the ground now. They do them surveys around the whole country. As he said, there is a light at the end of the tunnel because now new body don't come now. We're gonna hire people them. We they move with Prince Adin, move with the minister, then speak one language now. So there is hope. As me brother they say, I'm mentioned, but the minister say, you don't try, you don't get meet with we. Now in duty for do that one day, a right. But now a shock to we, Seratel staff. They will call nobody getting meet here all this while. Will not be getting kind like so they see like a light of the end of the tunnel because they see they can't win, they meet we, they talk to we, don't pay 2 months salary. Then the people that they go now with the process of privatization. See, there is hope, and this wall, na communication wall and a competitive wall in communication. So if Seratel be known they didn't want green, as somebody mentioned, just know we send message. They may so confidence when I don't want green in day. Like when they can say somebody so confidence, complacency. Na me want green, they nobody will challenge me. So I think it better with this market challenge come. We other mobile companies have the trade on very well. So it's able for match up. So if it's able for match up, the only way Seratel will survive. And they tell me channel price and privatize them. And I pray and hope that this process will go on through, it will be materialized.
Are you optimistic about Seratel in future?
Until we put in place the right steps. Until we take very, when we argue, say we need a proper system of managing and enforcing the regulations, they are very important. I think an independent agency, we're constitutive of government, the public sector and the private sector, very important. Because you know why we need the private sector? Private sector, they come in with a profit-making mindset. And for them, that's it. And efficiency is the watchword. Every time we can read and they talk about efficiency, it's results. When you want to make profit, you get benchmarks them, and they are measurable, they're specific, over time. But unfortunately, you don't operate institutions them on where you make people and can dance, then give them small thing. I mean, we cannot be serious about running privatization and have politicians who pretending over them. We cannot. We need professionals weighing at them, now their responsibility. They have proven track records in those areas. Because once we get those right, it doesn't matter who that come in. It can be Arab man, it can be Portuguese. But trust me, if we don't do it properly, we'll get the same problems over and over again.
And this is a problem as well. So sometimes that efficiency, okay, they talk about, governments as well can copy from that script and then self-decide for be efficient if they want to be.
Well, that's the thing. You know, waiting really unfortunately over time. I mean, some people born in the 80s, I've seen people where get decent, you know, accomplishments, track records and all, and they don't go into the public sector. The next day, they don't become different beasts. I don't know what the public sector does. So I like, you know, when the president and the chief minister and all of those people, we don't craft the new manifesto, the people's manifesto, they say commitment to revamping the public sector. I think that is important. But it should not just be a buzzword. If we go beyond rhetorics. You know, I like the fact that the minister don't they go e-building, they go check who is coming on time. Oh, okay, when I do and all of that. That's good. Okay, but we need a lot more beyond that. Mm-hmm. Because if the public sector get for work, I mean, you interact with them small at this country. And you know that 80-90% of the problems we have as a nation are because the public sector not deliver.
The work culture is terrible.
It's terrible. The ethic, horrible. It's worrisome. It's abysmal. You know, you can use all the negative adjectives for describer. And I think it's really an opportunity for a reset. I hope we take advantage of it because we've been here before. We don't here before. You know, after the war, everybody clamor, say, okay, this is an opportunity. And we set in place a number of institutions. When I then for don't influence the new salon. But 20 years down the line, it's the same problems over and over again. I hope President Bill, I hope the new minister Ba, yes, Salima, right? Mm-hmm. I hope they are committed to this. I hope, say, we take we laws and seriously. Because in law, you know, when they talk about normative framework, without enforceability, it's nothing. Like rubbish. So if you don't put law and you put enforcement, and you get people that will go enforce them standards and day, you might as well be talking, you're shouting all day long because we'll not get the results that we want.
All right. So on the line now we have Honorable Madala Buena, the chairman for the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Transport and Aviation, because whilst we talk about state-owned enterprises, we focus really with the zoom in on transport and telecoms and how badly state enterprises have done in those sectors over the last decades. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning and thanks for having me.
Yes. From your own perspective as a parliamentarian, we get a lot of responsibility for oversee the transport sector. How we go make sure, say, in companies, government companies, institutions where they run within that sector, I mean, at the very least, they break even and not continue for be a burden on government?
Well, in the first place, you know, as parliamentarian, as chairman for the Transport and Aviation Committee, now for provide oversight over the state-owned institutions than they. So, and as such, if they look at their operations, we for ensure say we go strictly as to within the dictate of the act, within the act say, and you know, the state-owned enterprises then they get different mandates. It vary from one to another. My apologies, sorry, because I did really run out of charge. But please look for power bank, please.
Okay, all right.
Please, look for power.
Okay, no problem. We'll call you in a minute.
Yes.
If you're okay with that.
Yes, definitely. I look for.
All right. So we are talking in a country where, I mean, yesterday we talked about energy and how much we don't spend over the last 15, 20 years on energy, but yet we don't have enough energy supply across the country, sustainable one, to the extent that the MP need for look for power bank for recharging phone, just for keep power whilst we are going. But with the wait for and call them in 2 minutes time, and just for make sure say we get in your own side. But I be they ask about the viability of una come. Then una as the workman them we understand. Una want for continue for work, but what do you think say? I mean, even if they end up for privatize, what do you think say? Because once they privatize and I get for be strictly on competition on merit basis. So you think say una self as workers, staff them una don't get the required expertise compared to other workers within an AfriCell or within an Orange or QCell as well.
Well, the last meeting we got with the minister, the deputy been spelled out clearly say they get for take a decision with some people going to get for happy with. He mentioned about 60% where I think they just get from need and the rest will go. But I think Saratel staff, I can tell you now how to speak from the mind, then don't resolute the mind.
Okay, let me just hold you there because I think we'll get Honorable back online. Honorable, are you okay now?
Yes, the power bank still not charge.
All right.
It's not charge, unfortunately.
No problem.
But,
let's go and
so,
hope that you
like
phone able survive the interview.
Yes, like I mean they say, then state-owned enterprises and the mandates are different as per the act. So we are mandate now for look into the operations and see how government see how compliance and they into their act and they.
Okay, I think we lost him on the line. All right, we'll try for call him back. But whilst we talk about transportation, this is a country where a lot of we where they travel go upline. We really like for take government bus because it's comfortable, because it's reliable as well. So there's a culture, and it means because for a very long time we don't rely on that. It means it's a promise that if they continue for do well, we just want good services.
Yes, definitely. You know, there's an interesting anecdote I could share. I think, growing up in Kenema, you know, we get CityLink buses where they go. They actually they call me CityLink at some point. You know, because I think when the buses they come, you know, we're all looking for always because you had times where you'd expect that they will arrive. You know what I mean? So even as kids, you'll be exuberant and all that. So we don't get those situations in the past. But unfortunately, because we don't manage them well, they are where they are now. And before now, when we say government buses, they actually had a proven track record of delivery of safety. You know, even when you want to go there, you know they're afraid.
Yeah.
So that would, people go buy the ticket, like
Very
in the
high.
morning for travel, you know, later on.
Later corruption company ticket sales.
And even the ticket sales, you go there, you'll get, even if you go very early in the morning, you won't get the tickets within the front of the bus. You probably get some seats at the back, you know. So that's how we do slowly and slowly. And when we talk about management, it's not just at the highest levels. It's Saratel staff as well, who've been complicit in the demise of that institution. The fact that it's dysfunctional today, they also bear responsibility for it. So that's why I like the question of if we have privatization and it's done properly, then surely we need to overhaul even the working staff. We need to ask questions. We need to get performance benchmarks and see who's delivering, who's been performing, who is not. If we not do that root and branch overhaul, we go waste with time. Because if you get that same person, now like when you get driver, you go buy a new motor car. The same driver when I don't run your previous motor car into the ground, they go get this new motor car. Before too long, you will begin complaining about gearbox, undercarrier, you will complain about all of the problems. So if you don't change the personnel, if you don't make advances in ensuring that those people where now them for drive this process, they are the right kind of people, you go waste your time. So at various levels, at the level of the NCP, at the level of the parastatals, that's why I like it more of a holistic conversation, because we need to do this. We're not a cherry pick. We'd say, okay, we'll do this one, but we're not going to do this one. No. If we have to be serious, I mean, for instance, that report I had to talk about, we say in 2018 alone, the audit report say 66.3 billion, 9 loss from state-owned enterprises and parastatals. 9 loss where they not able to account for. And 33.2 billion, 9 they spent on goods and services where they're not receipts for. So just that kind of thing that you put into context the need for law to be serious about ensuring we get this right. I mean, President Bio himself has recognized the fact that if we for deliver, if we for hold them to a mandate, then these parastatals and SOEs have to perform better.
All right. Let's hear from our public. 079994993. Good morning. Hello. Okay, keep it a minute. Don't forget that. 24 minutes downside the hour 8 now. Good morning. You're welcome, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. At least them talk yesterday with problem state enterprises. Now this mismanagement and corruption, plasma corruption, put with party people there, with brother there at the top of any management you put there, better not go come on there. Would they talk about Pakaba in time with 20 Gaddafi bosses? Because good management been there, 20 Gaddafi bosses. That is so arranged. Each district, okay, Moyamba boss, they go, Kailan boss, they go. I mean, divide also in the town where okay, early morning, bosses and then where they carry the picking, then left, then go. Then they come out turn to passengers. Nobody not been there, staying for them things there. But this mismanagement where people come, do waiting their fees and no more go profit than pocket. Now in a problem in this country. Now that party picking there, no one here where you talk and they took all the boys now then they want to cost you.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from more people here. 079994993. Let's hear your thoughts on this conversation. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jawad. Malaika, the call from Scandal.
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome.
Well, just ask me what are the last statements, you see institutions, government institutions, they round down and institutions with lots and lots of losses of money, But where governments come, then same law they will be there from 1940, people are not being born it. Now then same law they levy fines on perpetrators. The suicide governments they come, they accuse somebody for money misappropriation. Then get and fine, then get and not for take public office for some time. While the government come, they go get the highest institution to try for work for government. So all I can see then I believe now they make this country not to go before, they strive at all. And as they rightly say, most of the community in China and other estate countries come here and they pan. But we now they say government not to Cobra, government not a businessman. So how the institution will work well, what money there and all that so forth and so on. Right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And I'm happy more of as well gets opinion on this very important conversation today with the focus on transport and transport sector in telecoms. Good morning. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Jawad.
Yes, Nantak, you're welcome. And
thank you very much, my brother.
Our condolences.
Yeah, thanks very much. First and foremost, I want to tell all the members of Epic Radio, plenty thank you for the condolence and sympathy we want to show. I really appreciate. We want to make us feel proud. But of my fans and friends, family, we know but the begging. Epic make them know. So I call me say, hey, my sympathy, at least in Epic Radio, I make cannot see Mama die. I want to appreciate you, and especially to the Epic of this corner. The man.
All right.
Jawad. Now I call particularly for congratulate you now. Then to this issue of this transport sector, to be honest with you, this former outgoing Minister of Transport, now the worst ever in the stop salon. Now disappointment. And let me go and talk so that management level business in this country. Jawad, that the worst thing. But maintenance culture no, they go na SLITC. Let's see where government boss and pack the man the chief engine, you see the body correct, engine. Also then go. That management business. So I want to make this thing be this one when it can do. Let pay attention on maintenance and management.
All right.
That's the problem.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me hear from a few more people here. 079994993. Management. Somebody don't raise that point today. Management of government assets. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm John from Dutch.
Welcome, John.
Yeah, I'm listening to the revelation of this man from Sierra Leone. I feel bad because of now I believe say like now so for the just the round up for this taking over of Sierra Leone. But forget this revelation from this man from Sierra Leone. Say everything don't come to the zero with all waiting Abdurrahman Suarez don't talk. I felt so bad. But the question to the man from Seratel, he don't name.
Oh, I think we lost you there. All right, call us back, and hopefully we'll get some time as well for take your question through. 079994993. Good morning.
Yeah, Mr. Jawad, good morning.
Mohammed,
I
welcome.
mean, yeah, Mohammed had to call for my match.
Okay, go on.
I don't really understand why you ask Mama you born Piki. You treat Piki like saying a snake. You know, say snake, not everybody can go near around. And also, we Sierra Leonean brother and sister, the way they travel go overseas for learn different skills like they learn engineering, this, that, you know. Why make them people then they need to take a position in this country also? And also, why make government maybe stay on their own project in this country? Pass everything out, they don't let private people there. We not say yes, private people there, then they bring more benefits now country. But though, let government self proud say, well, now me don't hold this foundation also for so yeah, say to this time. But all everything right. They don't left and give everything to private people there. It's like Sierra Leone, they want turn out to private country.
Thank you.
Let government try for build something for themselves, not only them for left and give private people there.
All right. Thank you very much. Someone is against privatization of all government assets or the most important companies. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Unfortunately, we're not getting you, so please call us again, 0799949993. I want to hear from just two more people, and then we come back to guest them here on this very, very important conversation. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Jawad.
Yes, sir. Name was I call we from?
Maxwell, long time brother.
Yes, Maxwell, you're welcome.
How are you, sir?
We are good.
Jawad, you know, this corruption I would therefore saying, Jawad, is very, very bad in the country. You know, I'll go yesterday for go take me again in the result, right? And go tell me 100,000. I said, but wait, not the thing. I think that corruption this. I said, don't talk, see, more not pay, no money. No money, more not pay. Bruh. Say that man make me play by one person all. I just come out with one. I go sit down. Jawad, this country, you know, if we don't monitor, it's going worse. It's going worse. This generation will depart now, now, money issue will depart, Jawad. You really wait till I for tell you, Jawad. I really regret. Really regret what I was saying about to do. Not doing the internet and the schools then.
All right.
At all. Not doing the one level that the monitor the school there. I beg, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Mr.
Maxwell Kobe. Let me just take one last call here, 0799949993. And good morning.
Morning, Aside from Central.
Welcome, Mr. Aside.
All the talk about engineer there, Seratel. Now they may get the best engineers. You call people like Mr. Tumor, Mr. Carbo, Mr. Jarrett, one more thing. And this last one, this man is obviously when we call him a pedo to say, this now man we now one of the best engineers. Where then through here now Seratel, who said in now Orange. That did work. Most of the engineers within a company, and that's Seratel the common. But see the problem, them people here over time. Now they be the key license. These were payers at center as referees. When a mobile company have the car, why they not be going to partnership? Above all, there was a time when they give them people here the gateway for 5 years for manager. That money all what they make inside that 5 years, what did they do with that? There was a time in this country, ask someone as I tell you, this. Then go take two small body from England for come monitor the international calls where they just have small machine and two computers and then at the office. He's a senior engineer, they qualify people that were trained in England. Now they can't sit down. They sell that contract, we give the people a day, then collect their international calls money, then they give them small token, they're satisfied. People, I know they're going for big things. Yeah. Why Gambia end up forget Gamtel and Gamcell? Not because they're going to partnership with the people who look at the technology. Why would not be do that initially? Where that money, where them go buy CDMA, people away, what can do there? It's not because shops over there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I mean, we appreciate your deep experience on that particular on these issues as well. It's been a valuable contribution. You don't hear it from some of the references in terms of the opportunity the way Seratel means for get ahead of the competition?
Yeah, as I said earlier, Seratel business don't go worldwide. As the speakers and they talk, they send a message to them. They have sympathy for we, they're sorry for we, because they mentioned corruption and government of Sidon Seratel they destroy so, and the wrong people and they put, as I tell you, we mentioned of Mr. Edwards, he's a very vibrant man, a grounded engineer. As he make the question just now when caller just interrupt him, if he then get for take the decision for privatize. The deputy minister wouldn't get me to they tell me say they get for take this away some people and get for regret. But I can see 90% of the staff there now they don't really their mind for undergoing decision and they because you get people now don't left where they wait for the money. They don't really know that for access because there is an interim body at Seratel now. They make attempt for act them and tell them say we are just interim, not to be for CAX. So then people they work on a street now they talk and they say then frustrate. Some man 30 years, some man 32 years. They get staff then now would work for 30, 28, 30 years. If they take the decision, they know you get them. Then they talk of see if they want to come with a decision for privatize and lay out for people them, and officers don't be able. So I tell get technicians and I don't know where they get them. You know, so like other company like Orange, QCell them, official them, within they, most 90% of the workers them, now decent job they do. While to Seratel now we get engineers and technicians they claim 80, 90 meters towers. Man go come on college and say one can work Seratel, tell and say go claim tie go freed. You get them man holds them, but they come up from here to dong na Kiamaru Junction. We na under the gate for passion. So you go meet a snake, scorpion. Man will come on a college, you go work. We get Seratel staff, we claim them, pulls them, who life where they pass. Then work man in a Seratel, no, you get enable lay off. So don't forget about that, say you go call the people off. Enable lay them people and off. Then they ready for work now. The number wouldn't dirty job than they. And then they pay very small amount of money. So if you can't see the camp of Seratel lay off, you come in the fallback. It go fall because you need to get somebody from college for work now for doing dirty jobs then they. And Seratel staff, they no more get them. People and do go work then kind work then they. So you enable them to get grounded engineer technique. Get people that do masters them.
Well, at some point, then staff then get for need for prove them value if privatization did happen. But you also have a case now, say anybody will get for take them on now, get for deal with all of them liability, then they for pay them people and they don't work for decades as well. So one of the reasons why the privatization process itself don't slow down because of the cost of dealing with the staff and the fixing a broken infrastructure, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's very challenging because the minister talk and say not to process. It's in a process, not to go just conclude normal like that. He talk of liabilities. Somebody mentioned, I think my brother mentioned 50 million. He's right. Seratel gets a huge amount of debt to them for paying liabilities. Government get for looking into that during the process of privatization. It's not easy. If you say you get for pay off worker, though the amount will be there initially about over 450, it don't go down now to about 395 because plenty staff don't left. They're not able to continue this kind of situation. They don't go now that enterprise they wouldn't work now. So man don't die. So man don't left the job. So that number don't go down. So if they get for privatize, and if you say it will cost much of them again because the number will be there, they get reduced now. But privatization in no sense as something they get for decision, they get for more people, they will know that one day. So it's tough, it's difficult. We don't get into mind for undergo what things there for come on. Because you know say privatization process is a very slow process. You get for leak of liabilities, you get for pay staff, them benefits, all them backlogs there will do not until like 11 months now because it was 13 months before the minister come in and pay 2 months. So 4 years leave allowance day on hold, 12, 11 months salary day on hold, all them one they get for clear them. So now tough these things now they for government for do, who understand that one day. But the Seratel staff don't result in their mind see if they get for take any decision, they are ready. Because some man don't even say, let them put me name safe. Because waiting at the main thing safe, hope been done lost. Because government allows Seratel for go down to the figure say go come up again, but with the hope and pray see, this minister will don't come in now, they work with the privatization team, they go do well for we.
So Hassan, the longer it take for let government reform, sell, or find a solution with these state-owned enterprises, the more expensive it get for become for manage them, and the more liabilities they accrue, they also become unattractive for anybody for can't take on over. So it's not a pretty situation.
It's not. Unfortunately, it's a very sad situation. Sorry state of affairs. I think we all, as people of Sierra Leone, will bow our heads in shame that institutions like Seratel, like Road Transport Corporation, and all the others, we know they do well, then they in the state, then they so today. It behoves us. So now I say this is really the time for tough action. If President Bio, if Minister Ba, if Deputy Minister Sano, if all of those authorities will get stake in this, are serious about it, that we have to, because time is of the essence. The expediency of this one will not go overstate time. And as a matter of fact, I just want to allude, to a few comments we my brother make. So on, say for staff, core staff, we don't in the institutions for years. I mean, one of the things that women don't know from your small experience in life, that at any time somebody complacent, they perform. Anytime somebody feels, say, oh, without me, this job cannot go on, that's a really bad recipe, and it will lead to failure and mismanagement and underperformance. So if the staff, hopefully, by God's grace, all of which we the talks will go through, privatization occurs, if the staff have to continue, then they must prove themselves. They must prove their value to the institution. They must be, therefore, able to conform to the deliverables them, the performance benchmarks them, because those are very important. Yeah? Now, I'll give you an analogy of those teachers who can teach in public schools and private schools. Now, we don't get a system in this country where, usually when public results come on, in the last few years, until maybe the last couple of years or so, when results of public examinations come on, private schools, they do better. Public schools, not so much. Now, in the past, the problem has been, it's usually the same personnel, same teachers who teach in public schools, and they go private school. But you know what's the difference? When they go to a public school, it's free for all.
Everything is guaranteed.
Yes,
It not depend on performance.
It not depend on performance. They even go class, but they get salary. Now, if you go to the private school, there is a very strict monitoring system. There is a performance-based appraisal system. There is an evaluation system where they ensure, say, if you're not doing job, that they lay an off at the end of the academic year, or even before. So they are ruthless. So that's the standard where we get for adopt if we have to ensure we make a turnaround and ensure, say, them SOEs, them parastatals, they perform better. They become the profit-making entities and live up to the mandate. I mean, these institutions, go check the records. For a number of years, they didn't pay any dividends to government. They know they pay because they cannot. And debts that they operate on, or people can't bail them out. That's not the way to go.
And sometimes as well, there is also a political cost where you want for, let's say, shut down this company because you want to make profits. Then the government then can think about the political cost. How will this look? Say, Namina, the government will lock this company. Namina, the government will lock this company.
Yes.
How I go reset to learn people there in different places? All of those political calculations can go into decisions like this.
I mean, me personally, I don't envy some of those we get decisions here for make. But I think if in every serious decision-making process, one of the most important fundamentals now, you need for evaluate your context, understand your situation, and do a cost-benefit analysis. And know, say, okay, this is what I potentially stand to lose. Do I keep funneling money down a deep hole with no chance of success or retrieving it? No. It can't continue going on and on ad infinitum. At some point, you get for a draw, you say, no, we can't go beyond this. So I think as a people and as a government, as an institution, every time, even at EPIC, there comes a time when you get to make that decision. Say, no, this investment, it's not going the way we want it to go. I mean, look at NACID, for instance. I mean, I know we're not talking about them, but they've done investments. We know go so well. Yes. And some of those people, some of the heads, have been indicted for corruption offenses. And by the way, I want to applaud, we should all be happy. Just the other day, the MCC, again, the ratings came out, Sierra Leone do well on the control of corruption, which is not to say we're out of the woods. It's only to say, they say, okay, we don't claim so much, but we have so much more to go.
All right.
Commissioner Kaifala, the ACC team, they have so much to do. So we all, as a people, we have to ensure, say, I see in the comment section, some people talk about party picking syndrome. And it's a problem. We don't in this country where institutions they've been run into the ground because the people and where they take for run them, to the professionals, to the people who are trained in those fields, the individuals where the only trump card are because they belong to one party or the other. And that has to change.
Thank you very much for being here with us this morning, Hassan Kalon, legal and policy analyst here at IGR, and as well as Abu Bakama as well from Sierra. This is the Epic Morning Show. Stay with you. When we come next, APC MPs are finally back in Parliament. They have some major decisions to make now that they don't sit on fine one in the well of Parliament. We have this and more in sports and entertainment to come your way.
No for carry go, hey God. This thinking make I wonder why me no go get your AI. This thinking make I wonder why me no go get say. This thinking make I wonder why me when you know say some man then get 7. Then gets away, right here on them ways. Oh God, some man then gets me late, then gets juju, we no go know. Oh God, when I sing so good, now me know how I feel. When I sing so, now me know how I feel. Hey God, you just see them. She comping just a better. You see don't know more than me. Why so the money to the ton for? How you gonna live this life just fulfill another person down? How you gonna live this life just fulfill your brother man down? Hey God. Make I wonder why me no for carry gold. Hey God, this thinking make I wonder why me no forget your AI. This thinking make I wonder why me no go get sheshe. This thinking make I wonder why me when you know say. Some man then get 7, then gets away, right here on them ways. Oh God, some man then gets me late, then gets juju, where you know knows. You know how to feel, eh? Yes, sir. For the people that will not get nowadays, man. People them still let you for put them down. Yeah. You know how they feel, eh? Right is on my soul, eh? But them how they feel. Hey, God, you know. Enough for you, yeah. You don't know tomorrow for me. You want for bread anyway. Maybe now me go get you future. How you go live this life just fulfill another person now? How you go live this life?
Hello, good morning, and welcome to your midweek edition of Sports Updates. We will come out to you this morning with me, Mohamed Tobikagbo, and inside Sports Updates this morning. Very good news for Real Madrid as Edward Camavinga, they extend in contract with Real Madrid. We will see him at the club until 2029 as Real Madrid really busy in extending contracts of the young James they wouldn't get at the club. And FC Untin right back where Nalamin Conte, where one of the favorable home base, them will make plenty appearance na the national team in as much as get plenty minutes yet. Well, as a rumor they circulate say the player want for join Wilberforce Strikers, as in club FC Untin been relegated to the first division in the last year's league. In boxing, Andy Ruiz of former heavyweight champions to announce say go fights this 2023 after he will undergo surgery, but they hope for return back in the rings in 2024. After he don't be demoted to the championship over the weekend, Anthony Taylor they return back to Premier League football as he could be the centre referee for Chelsea and Manchester City on Sunday. Jaren Bowen though rejects plenty interest from Liverpool, Arsenal and Newcastle as the player do agree a new 7 years deal will keep him now West Ham United. In a very sad state of one of the parks in Ghana, we don't provide quality players for Black Stars and local football stars in Ghana. Well, the Giandu Park now a place where, like I rightly mentioned, a lot of stars that don't pass through this park are sitting in a very bad state right now. As plenty Ghanaians they demand a massive renovation. Now a park would produce great players for Black Stars and local clubs in Ghana. And finally, for in sports update this morning, Mohamed Salah, Mohamed El Nini, they are among the 9 foreign-based players who will play for Egypt against Djibouti and Sierra Leone in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers 2026 for Mexico, America, and Canada. So join me at 11 a.m. this morning as one for look at a lot of issues which surround mental health and drug, how the sporting family will come together for tackle the use of drug and for tackle the issues around mental health, because there are a lot of sport personnel who don't be affected by mental health and drug abuse. Mina Mohammed Toby Kagbo, say goodbye.
Good morning and welcome to Epic Entertainment Buzz with me, Therese. Inside the entertainment basket today, the American international DJ and influencer don't confirm say Burna Boy will be featured in a 14th studio album titled Till Next Time, as is set for be released inside 2024. Davido Saini Morave don't describe how loyal and humble in boss be whenever them they work on projects. Usai is say working with Davido is amazing. He is a very wonderful and supportive person. I am working with my idol, somebody who has always been my mentor from afar, somebody I was looking up to. It's the story before, the story now, and how it's going to be. Rapper Dax don't be celebrated as in newest collaboration featuring Darius Rocado reach #1 on Billboard. And the Canadian-Nigerian rapper also don't reveal say in genre of music is they call them impact, where inspire and impact many people them where they listen to in song daily. And this na a big congratulations for them. We don't see Usai Tiwa Savage don't show off in new tattoo for the very first time. Naira Marley don't pull all Mohbad's in photos and documentation from his Instagram account after where he released from police custody as he served 20 days in detention. Whiskey don't cry about the kind of treatment where Nigeria foot the game. Usai say enough it move from this Eba and Ogusi as he dey injure him for that place there. We know say the Epic Carnival they come to you December 16 at Moriton Field for just 50,000 zillions as we don't use for say small money. Boku enjoyment, come and feel the vibe, come and gladdy, come merry as that time then a festive season. And let we not forget say the Bond Beach Party where Priority Solutions they carry it for October, November, December. Boku enjoyment, can pop champagne, can cut the big cake, can represent you bath month. Color we all can rack pala together, can enjoy the Boku gladdy ready for you. And don't forget say Epic Drive they come to you at 4 p.m. Also you go get more entertainment news and more updates on the Bond Beach Party. Me don't be Therese.
Sorry.
Show me something, make I touch you, make I color. This your body, give me ginger, I don't know. Girl, I did love you, I did share my 32. Show me something, make I touch you, make I color.
It's not a flop, it's like a fella day. Why for soap when you know the umbrella day? And I go use cotton bud when it for fella day. When I must be all me talk color day. It's not go ever fall apart like a chino achebe. I can call it anytime you bounce die ya shake it. Another protocol, anyhow, give me
In a world where only the sharpest minds survive, Cowbell Dairy Products is delighted to present the Cowbell Capucines Challenge, a remarkable inter-secondary school quiz competition that brings Freetown secondary schools together to compete for the ultimate prize. The theme for this competition is nurturing the spirit of patriotism through civic education. This isn't your average quiz. It's an extraordinary showdown of intellects and wits. Who will claim the coveted grand prize and of course those all-important bragging rights? Get ready for a whirlwind of challenging questions, exhilarating rounds, and moments that will leave you in awe. As if that's not enough, we have fantastic prizes like trophy, cash, and cowbell products up for grabs. It's not just a competition, it's a celebration of knowledge and talents. Mark your calendars for November 16 and 17, 2023 at the FPC Multipurpose Hall beginning at 9 a.m. sharp daily. Come cheer for your school, support your friends, and be part of the excitement. Cowbell Capucines Challenge, engaging hearts, equipping minds. Proudly sponsored by Cowbell. Cowbell, a creamy goodness.
Cowbell, a creamy goodness.
October, also the one that we born November and December. Una don't ready? Because Usaidensky Big Monty they celebrate one big beach birthday party. So make it a point of duty. Usaidensky Big Cakes they go there for court, the champagne go there wire, the music go there butter. So if you know say you born October, November and December, now you turn for shake money and the biggest beach birthday party. When a perfect arrangement, well organized, for the one that we born inside this 3 months. Come witness the sweetness, expect greatness, take picture them and chill with the celebrities. Let we jam body together. Enjoy the same birthday, now the big and big birthday party. For the one that we born October, November and December. Tickets and they out now for sale. West Standard, now 100 millions. Couple space tickets, now 250 millions. VIP table for 6, now 1,500 millions. And VVIP table for 8, now 2,500 millions. Saturday, December 23. Now something go be. Right now beat a feel lonely. Sharp 7 o'clock evening time. Everything go don't begin. This Batright Big Party, powered by Priority Solution and sponsored by Orange Money, PNB, Media Partners, Epic Radio, and Slick TV.
All right, welcome back. 8:58 from Studio Clock here in Freetown. We are live on TV, live online, live on radio as well. And this is the Epic Morning Show. If you just join me, and this morning we continue with conversation on state-owned enterprises, and we zoom in on the transportation sector and the telecoms side. Away, a lot of private companies are making millions, billions of loans. And but yes, still government institutions that will get in those sectors don't crumble, and instead we are bailing them out every year from bad management to all sorts of problems as well. We don't cripple the institution. But let's go straight to what's in the papers, and they say I start with A to Z newspaper. APC MPs finally take oath in 6th Parliament. Africa Investment Forum Saudi Arabia Summit. President Bill set to secure economic partnerships. These are some of the lead stories on A to Z this morning. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Jawad, and good morning, listeners. Here on Premier News, Ukraine, Sierra Leone restore contact after 20-year pause. And President Bio attends Africa Investment Forum in Morocco. Sierra Leone attends 6th China International Import Expo. These are the headlines on Premier News.
On Politico this morning, Sierra Leoneans warned against keeping fugitives. MCC Salon drops by 3% in corruption score. Advocates blast mobile tariff increase. Full Parliament APC MPs take seats.
And here on Awareness Times newspaper, opposition leader Honorable Abdul Kabo speaks with confidence in an exclusive interview. SLPP has more, but APC has better debaters. And Madabio SLPP leadership gets all the 3 MCC green ticks 5 years in a row. These are the headlines on Awareness Times.
On Global Times this morning, NCRA launches 2022 Virus Statistics Report. President Bio leaves for Saudi Africa Summit in Riyadh. And then you get the rehabilitation of Makolo Junction to Koblo Gulama Mabang Bridge na the Songo Moyamba Highway.
And here on our co-newspaper, President Julius Maada Bio arrives in Marrakech for 2023 Africa Investment Forum. And what kept you for so long? Speaker questions returning APC MPs and Finance Minister to implement not in budget, not in funding rule to prevent arrears. These are the headlines on our newspaper.
On Concord Times this morning, APC MP subscribed to oath of office. That's a big story. And the MCC scorecard don't come out. I'm going to come to the MPs, the APC MPs joining their colleagues and some of the insights into the speaker address and how they are settling down basically on their first day at work. But the MCC scorecard don't come out. And of course, the big story for government is that they passed the scorecard, 10 over 20. But there is even a bigger story because for the last 3 years, we passed the indicators them, but we didn't decline. 3 years ago, we passed 13. Last year, we passed 11. This year, we passed 10. And this year, the Salon dropped 3% in the corruption score. And last year as well, the same thing happened. We also dropped further. So there is a pattern here. Imagine that even though we pass, but like what you picking in grades dip and drop in a school.
I think it comes back to the thing of consistency, and in terms of we approach if they improve yearly, year in, year out. No say yes, there is the argument out there that this was an election year, and of course, considering the political situation of the country, so many things, of course, they expect them for the in the balance there and all. But just as you say, significantly, it's been a pattern. I mean, yes, it's not so much we still able to pass, of course, but the thing there is the fact that waiting we for the strive towards as a country now for improve, and now away from just passing the scorecard, it's about time as a country I think we start for reflect on how them passes then the way we they get on international scorecards and things like that. All of those international ratings them they begin for reflect in waiting they go on at the ground in actuality. Because we pass employment index, but then let's come back home. Let's look at waiting at the situation on the ground in terms of people them where they graduate from universities, waiting at the opportunities them we open for them in terms of access to employment and all of these things. These are important factors. Yes, we don't pass corruption indicators them all through these years, even though there is a drop by just 3 numbers. That is understandable nonetheless, but let's come back home. Let us look at all of those areas them where we still get huge gaps in terms of prudence expenditure and things like that, and try for close all of those gaps. Because until these ratings or these numbers we're having starts to reflect on the ordinary citizens, it's just a mere rating on paper.
Yeah.
For all you know, the talks out there, people look at the ratings and be like, wow, employment, now outside them pull the ratings and things like that. So you would want to see an instance where government starts for focus now on how they able to transform their numbers them day into reality and impact the lives of the citizens them.
Okay, let's now
Until
go
we
to,
do that, then there is no progress.
All right, let's now go to Melvin Tijan Mansari. Let's just talk to him because yesterday the APC MPs joined and colleagues them, and they were sworn in as MPs. A lot of them were excited, and I mean, I saw even a few young people who I'm really proud of. I mean, one of them was a journalist at some point, Mohamed Papa Kamara from Bombali district. But good morning, Melvin.
Good morning to you and to listeners.
Okay, so yesterday the APC MPs, they don't take their seats now. It was a very interesting address by the Speaker of Parliament. Give me a highlight of some of the things he noted out as part of in welcome address to those MPs.
Well, firstly, he acknowledged the fact that there were disputes will make the APC not go to Parliament. But he asked a very rhetorical question as to why now which go wrong, and that question they will be a lot of murmuring and chattering from the left side of the aisle, where they mean say, well, if you want to make a put into perspective, it seems as if Mr. Speaker one for tell the world that no, it's not the underlying issue, but that has me. He addressed mostly dwell on the fact that one political party under the constitution not go able to govern and not go able for rule, and it will be a violation. And that now he talked for the second time. And that now after 2 or 3 occasions where it will sound very harsh, very hostile, and very demanding, where it makes them forget about timeline and possibility of MPs vacating the seat. So on the part of the Speaker, he spoke from a nationalistic perspective. However, there are several issues where I feel say he not delve deep into, especially, for example, the peace agreement and some of the resolutions we have to do with Parliament. So it was good generally, but the bottom line and underlying issues still exist, where I think say no detail into.
And now that the APC is finally settling down in the House, there's an interesting issue where they get for confront, and then about the representation of ECOWAS Parliament. Currently, na Mohamed Bangura Dede, but it sounds like somebody talked yesterday say, now the party get right for send whosoever they wants na places like the ECOWAS Parliament. How is that going to play out in the coming weeks?
Well, firstly, I think that there is a huge development towards that, and Jawad, not a new thing. We don't speculate that some of the big elephants in the room could be issues around their appointment in an international parliament. And mind you, one of the resolutions in the peace agreement. So it's clear that the new leadership become with a carrot approach, meaning that then they allow for the serve for the session, and at the end of the session they can make a decision. That's what that is.
How long the session they last for?
And it will run up to March.
Next year.
Yes, of course. So by then, according to the new opposition leader, Abu Kagbo, the party for decide. And he was very emphatic in saying that is a party decision. But again, it's going to be something we will be diplomatic about. And so far, I think it's very exact diplomacy. Another issue from that of the opposition leadership, I mean, of course, you have to look at the leadership bench. Quite an interesting composition. Yes. I think it's a blend of mostly young people, and yes, you get the presence of Honorable Daniel Kuruma, a fine lawyer and lawmaker. But basically, we see young faces, and critically so, just one woman face. Similarly so, just for the case of also the SLPP. So that issue of gender representation in the APC and also SLPP leadership is not reflective of the purported 30% quota in parliament they make. And also, if you look at issues around regional balance, I would almost say like APC, like SLPP, you see the concentration of the leadership from certain regions of the country.
And
is that speaking to national unity and cohesion?
Speaking
I don't
about
think so.
speaking about female representation, this now waiting they baffle me. This is the parliament where the highest representation of women ever in we history, and yet you have very little number of women in the leadership roles in the House of Parliament. What kind of example do you think both parties are setting here?
It's the irony. It shows the hypocrisy of politicians. And if Parliament don't make a law and amend a law in the Public Elections Act, making provisions as such, why then all live by waiting and preach? It's quite ironical and hypocritical on the part of political parties. Mind you, this is not the fault of Parliament. Parliament's fault is as a result of political parties or government, the executive not doing work. So this, I think, it's a blame for the political parties. Those are the descendant representationalists there, and it shows that they are not committed. They are only paying lip service, and Parliament, unfortunately, now get a power for regulating political parties. In this case, from the government or the opposition, they decide as to who becomes the leader or not. So that's a big defect. But interestingly, so you see how the speaker applaud the contribution of the Honorable Chairman Ramadan Majuba, the Honorable Ajibola Man in Spain, and of course Honorable Ibrahim Ben Kagbo. That was quite significant, especially when you say in politics the difficulty is how you pass power from the young to the old generation. I think that is very significant for both political parties. APC is wrestling with that internally in their political party. SLPP also seem for the get from, well, we not see it openly, but we never see the old guards coming up against the new order. So that's a huge piece of advice. And I think,
and one last thing with the women, I know say this is the biggest women caucus we get for getting a parliament, and they will be itching to start right away because now we don't get the full composition, the APC woman, and don't come the SLP woman, and don't come waiting at those issues where you feel say really together they can tackle.
Firstly, there is a provision in the public elections in the G repeal that talks about having an audit on a gender audit, and they are supposed to be waiting and calling reports on all ministries, departments, and agencies. I mean, wish that this female caucus take as one of the champion in cause to ensure that all MDs submit reports on how gender sensitive their operation be. Another funny issue they therefore be confronted is the issue of female genital mutilation. Of course, political parties
it's
have
an
ideology
issue
about that.
And that is an issue where even the highest office in the land, no one for take a clear stance on whether they support FGM or not, including the Ministry of Gender, by the way, where they all on shy away from taking a position. How you feel, say, I mean, female politicians, and we come up from the same political parties who also confront this issue?
They need, first, the skills in lobbying and advocacy. Of course, they need the funding. And I go one for suspect that you get organizations then they abroad, particularly in the West, they always get for champion that. So the outreach skills, the advocacy, I mean, the lobbying, it will give them a lot of leverage if they're honest and well. But there is the lacking political willingness and the political ideologies around it. But of course, not only this female genital mutilation, but also the issue of pro-life, pro-choice. People don't know say alone that issue they alive and well, and you just call it safe abortion.
Yes.
And if you go to a place like America, it's pro-choice and pro-life.
There's even a big voting going on that. I mean, this week.
Of course. So this female caucus need for take a position on safe abortion. I hope they're able to do that. But also the Child Rights Act also is making some provisions giving children rights where some parents are on the fear. How the female caucus therefore address that important. But of course, internal issues like almost women them they take the floor for debate, almost women then they go on oversight and international travelings, almost women then they get their opportunities that demand them will always exist. I know they don't get in mind for challenging the leadership of the political parties that they need for do more in appointing women into leadership positions.
Thank you very much for talking to us this morning.
It's always good to be on the show.
All right. And I'm Melvin Tijan Mansari. He was just talking to us about this very important issue. And of course, the APC MPs are back, and so many things in the way together with the SLPP colleagues, and they have to work on. But quickly, let's just cross over to Guinea, because there's a very important story we break out last weekend. Then at the escape of Daddy's Camera. Daddy's Camera right now is on trial, by the way, and he escaped and catch him. But the Guinea government now, they want that. Look, we didn't offend people there, but we want to make sure say Salon will not participate in any way for hide them.
Exactly.
Because for some few hours the border be even closed between Salon and Guinea.
Yes, the situation is actually that outside Daddy's Camara there were several others as well. We break
the former presidential guard as well.
Exactly, the former presidential guard still they on the loose.
Yes, they're not
he's still on the run. They don't catch Dandy first. So waiting this now kind of like a caution. It's not a situation wherein they're saying that there is an involvement of Sierra Leone or Sierra Leonean government. No, it is just a warning to people waiting around the border axis or anywhere at all that try your best not for harbor. And if not, at best serve as a watchdog. If you see any unusual happenings or any movements where you don't understand, inform the security forces, just so that things no go escalate around that particular point. So that's the situation presently. And I think it is important that people with they around the axis there or within Sierra Leone in general try not to be involved in such a situation. It is a security situation, and you should rather allow the security people to handle them.
Yeah.
I mean, even on the Sierra Leonean side, if for any reason with security forces see instances of that, their duty is to hand over such suspects over to their Guinean colleagues for handle that, because it is purely a Guinean problem and it has nothing to do with Sierra Leone.
Definitely. Away from that, let's now look a bit about mining, because right now there's a conversation going on for develop a natural resource bill. But despite that, this King Ho Arise something don't finally end with King Ho as winners, and that deal now go to Parliament as well for them look into them. And there's a very interesting story today on Freetown Post where they ask whether the APC MPs get for betray Samura Kamara when it comes to the Arise King Ho agreement. How will they vote? How will they discuss that issue? So let's just talk to the editor of that newspaper, Lawrence Williams. Good morning, Lawrence.
Yeah, good morning, Jawad.
So why do you think there is a possibility of these MPs betraying Samura Kamara's position on this issue, as you wrote on your paper this morning?
Well, it is not a possibility. We are not envisaging that. We only ask the question. If you look, it's a question headline. And what's the basis for asking that question? One, Samura tweet, we expressed concern about the hula ballo surrounding the cancellation, termination, and signing of contracts by the government of Sierra Leone with Arise and that of King Ho. I need not provide listeners with the long literature of how this thing don't come off far. But importantly, we know that leaders in politics or in leadership in general, leaders are not just for talk, empty talk. Their statements carry weight and consequences. And in most times when leadership speaks, we consider it to be a policy statement. And policy statements are considered to be reflective of the position or stance of an organization or an establishment or a government, as the case may be. So drawing a clue from Samura in statement where it talks the government for ensure that they bring all parties to the negotiating table to resolve the issues to the satisfaction of all parties in order to avert an international embarrassment for Sierra Leone. Even cited the investment climate in Sierra Leone is lukewarm. Investors' confidence, I mean, the decision by government of Sierra Leone, you sign contract today, you terminate, and tomorrow you sign another one, the other day you terminate, and back the following day, they stop, and they say that affects the investors' confidence.
One of the things, why should you talk about that? One of the things as well, we'll speak to APC.
So why do we actually mirror it or to APC. Now, recently the Speaker of Parliament in a ceremony convened by China can go outside and say them go launch the restoration, rehabilitation of the Pepel port. The Speaker of Parliament made a very irrational statement saying that the only agreement they recognize is the one signed with Kingo in 2021. The Speaker should, in the very first instance, know say in at the umpire, and that this new agreement therefore come before Parliament. Secondly, the Speaker also failed to recognize that the initial agreement, the original agreement signed in 2021, had been terminated in January 2023, which means it does not have any force of law. And that is why the government is now pushing another agreement to go to Parliament. And before the agreement they go to Parliament, the Speaker has already made a compromising statement.
So
and
this
know that,
this get for going to Parliament eventually. And one of the things that APC leadership is saying is that then get for left the MPs them, let them think for themselves and let them do the job without necessarily pressuring them to take any sides. So it possible say Samara Kama yes might be making a statement say let everybody come at table let them settle them, but then the MPs them in Parliament could have a totally different opinion on the issue.
Yeah, they may have a totally different opinion. What we are doing is to draw their attention to a very strong statement of their own leader, their own leadership, a very strong statement of their own leadership, that they should be.
Hello. The line they wobble a bit, so let's just try and call Lawrence back and wrap up that interview there. But quickly, James, the reason why this is important now because all this draw, really this whole rail and ports, they run in a territory where now APC lawmakers them own territory geographically. A lot of them are representative from these areas. Put local and specifically put local really because now through a lot of the infrastructure run. So it is important that they take a clear view of this whole situation and make an assessment. Or if you say then go do anything different from what the central government has done.
It's a matter of wait and see. There's a whole lot of new crop of parliamentarians now joining this current parliament. A whole lot of them not be there during the prior parliament. So you cannot really predict how they would vote or how they would react or how they would look at the situation.
And I'm sure this is an issue even when they not be done parliamented, they must have been paying very close attention to how the debates they unfold.
Definitely, because I mean it's a national issue and they as lawmakers are something where they're concerned with as to how they would vote or whether they go side with the national government on it or not. I think it's a matter of whether looking at the contract in its entirety and look at the content of if we get a better deal with King Ho, then it doesn't matter whether the fact say the central government is already on it or not. It is something that they should go with. If it is an instance that there are concerns in the deal with King Ho, where they feel for say go be prejudicial to the people of Sierra Leone, because at the end of the day, now the people of Sierra Leone are then there on the receiving end, whether on our governments now or our parliamentarians, then they are just negotiating on our behalf. So at the end of the day, what we're expecting is to get the best deal out of this entire situation. So parliamentarians, it is an opportunity for them to have a second eye on it. Already the Attorney General's office don't look at the entire thing, and on behalf of governments, they've concluded that it is a good thing, let government go with this one. Now the parliamentarians would serve as a second eye and even a better eye for see what comes out of it.
All right, let's now go to our listeners, 079994993. Good morning.
Yeah, Mohammed from IMAX again.
Mohammed, go on.
Like I would say, for my first question, I would say, although me, I'm not going to know, but I want to ask, who's like, company where government don't they into for almost years without private sector they not put on there, because you as government you supposed to monitor all the company then they, as long as na una they in charge of Even the school board themselves, where they say now for school picky there, they pay for enter inside it because they
Yeah,
say
but at a
that board say
very
now for school picky there.
subsidized cost. At a very subsidized cost.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in
Then-
reality, if you picking the common lumley for go King Tom na PO, they not go pay the same money if na private, if na poda keke they use compared to what they pay na school bus. So
Okay, then they good. But one thing about this we law business about the MCC scorecard, but corruption business. We love who get na Sierra Leone na left blood. We love na Sierra Leone for be like fire na fire. No matter whether you be, as long as you put your hand, they bet you. But we love who get na Sierra Leone na left blood. Then they pick and choose who that the law for all and who that and who that the law not for bet. We can't push business law there for them day. But then they pick and choose who that them for all and who that not for all.
thank you very much. Let's keep it 90 seconds and let me hear from more listeners here. 079994993. We continue our conversation on public enterprises and how badly they don't do over the last few decades. Good morning.
Yes, James from Kise.
You're welcome, James.
But this morning I'm very disappointed in that parliamentary chairman for that we've been interview.
Oh yeah.
The man, I know say before you interview, you go don't spend word across say I get for interview at
Yes,
2 times.
yes.
Why you not keeping phone on?
Well,
If you don't take back the fail this is the greatest disappointment with parliament did to the citizens. They not take we serious. And in fact, they even speculate you know you want talk to you, you know one because you know one let him interfere into detail and make him make that false allegation saying he won't get problem. This is not good for the country. Then this arise in KO business. Let arise know say if they don't meet up and the agreement starting thing and they don't meet up for that, even the train the way they may say then it can't do 26 is now going to 10th of November. We know whether they can or not bring that. That means they get problem. If they don't get Kiol, they offer the country well, let them there because they not go and I let them for use the rail. They must accept them for use the rail. So that's an advantage for them. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, let's hear from more people here. 079994993. Let's hear from you guys. Good morning.
Yeah, Jawad.
Bumper.
Yeah, Jawad, you see the issue of Sabura, the statement, it sparked the debate. Because already we don't know say government don't say na people and arise this. So Samura himself talks so that whenever the APC MP then they go, let them create the debate so that let them look at the nitty-gritties the way involved, the pros and cons. Because government already tell we so. So Samura says, don't I mean Samura more say create the debate. It not take time to create for let debate because when they cry say work no they and arise say then get about the 30,000 workman they want create. It's about employment facility. And when you come to the area of we boss them, Jawad, them boss them way per EBK me by. Then one then they go look maintenance culture now we lack. All the body then they body engine or did it. If them boss then they form the run. If they cushion, that's why government me promise we 200 boss. We not see. But they all get no maintenance. Maintenance very good. Go look like the body then they did. Not engine and who side then go the engine. You can't so see a tell. It's really painful. Now the Cumbra then they towards communication in those days. Under EBK 10. When now we maybe now you don't close. And look what's in the happen communication. Let we all be realistic.
No,
they want them there political undertone.
Hello. You paint a picture as if Seratel was perfect under EBK in time. It was not. It don't begin die long before then.
No, na EBK 10 na inka activator. And myself, me get Seratel team and Seratel phone.
Myself, but before they reach 2018, Seratel don't begin alaki at that time they. Take Kandong now, just don't they get worse.
Yeah, Jawad, but in active. Which I through the law talker. But now look what in the happen to Seratel.
Right.
It is certainly painful. Look at workman in the salary, you know they.
Thank you very much.
Go. Employment they degrade. Thank you.
All right, let's go 079994993 and let's hear from more people here on these very important issues. Good morning. Hello. All right, I think that call not to go through. We're not getting you clearly. Hello. All right, let's go again 079994993 and hear from more people here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jawad.
Yes, sir. I'm talking from Central.
Thank you, my brother. One problem they will always, my brother, to get with you, Bumper. Bumper, if I not say that one, well informed journalist, it is research very well, and they right. So when you bring to the most, they interject for correct tap. So they accept. So they accept. She can tell. Let nobody know can tell me they could understand not there. She can tell on that it's all thing. If I say a disappointment to me, but you know you get the gateway. She can tell they give them come here all local so with the spark, the orange, the Cusel, the official. You know the daddy. Now you die so. That disappoints me. Me I feel pain for Seattle. The workers the more. The other man be the talk. Seattle engineers the way no come no get. That is possible. It's perfect. So if you government put premium for the guys today, let the privatize Seattle guy. You will see the performance to the guy compared to the wire. So this APC the issue when they go parliament, then do well. Then do well. At least this guy Abdul Kabo when the minister about Mohamed Bangura, he talk a plane. He said they told the decision at parliament. Is that the party? So that one day clear. And I want to tell and check for when they come. When they come, let them work in the Sadom. Let them work in the party business. For let Salon go bien again. I want to take it to the government for the continue.
Okay.
We know that they win MCC. Now for benefit, don't play, don't succeed. Let the money come. Thank you.
All right. Stephen Yale on the Facebook page, they say anything we owned by government, with the citizen them, they abuse them and fail to understand the government property belong to we. So we're very wicked, so we serve. All right. I'm sure a lot of people also share that sentiment with you. Good morning. Yes, sir. Name was I call from?
Maxwell Kobe from Leicester Village.
Mr. Maxwell Kobe, welcome.
Yes, sir. We're glad with the MP then go because we are not saying we Parliament Street, we all the street now saloon, but if the Parliament not street, we all convinced, right? We're glad it's so much. What will happen? You know, if you convince on the other, you know, we should have wouldn't have the end up, right? Some more you issues. You know, that is not a leader, Andy. You know, let them go sit down at table. Let them do what with Andy. But we will, our the MP, they can work for the generation, for salon. You know, we're happy for them so much. And there was, right, we, this, national constitution, you know, it's very, very bad. It's very bad at this country here, brother. And anyway, go to the police, go to buy a police. Then go see Motoka with a pack. You know, all the engine on all the side, they all sell it all. You know, without the camera, this, without the car, you know, corruption is there, beaucoup. Then they work.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Maxwell Kobe. Let me just take two more calls and then we'll say goodbye here for this morning. Good morning.
You're
welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. This question of Kinho and Arise, I mean, they may not make the contract there according to information that then, I mean, did the thing to Arise. Well, I will, before you say Jack Robinson, then say Kinho, that agreement, Dr. Sylvia Blyden don't condemn man in totality, you know. Dr. Samuel Kamara don't condemn man, not to show for make agreement. Before you make any agreement, you know, a group of ministers them now make up on a mind, you know, but for sign, then don't claim you, I mean, go against that his signature and go to the now very big, I mean, something. I don't think if the APC minister, I mean, parliamentarian, and then say go, I mean, and do what I mean the others they don't already say. Even myself, you know, I condemn that kind of agreement signing, you know. So I mean, let me hope and say, I mean, God direct there, you know, would that go can benefit and then two companies there.
Okay.
Let God make you get the the agreement finally.
Thank you very much. One last call and then we say goodbye here for this morning. 079994993. Let's go. Good morning.
Good morning, Jawad.
Yes, Salamin Samura.
Yeah. Yesterday, I will talk about the way forward, say, now sincerity we need in this country. And one of the channels in the talk say, now mismanagement, now the problem we make salon companies, they're not enough. Well, it's not mismanagement. How much of them people that are with the mismanagement companies there, within a Panemba road? We get police, we get anti-corruption, we get parliamentary oversight. What thing they do for holding people out to account? for the bad we need to do to this country. So you see, let we be honest to this country. If we're not honest to this country, believe this country, they move. People where they do bad, they find themselves in a Panemba road. How you go look a whole company, you put them down. SLRA, for example, boss them where them get from Pakaba in this. Right now, 1 or 2 of them boss and then they run when a private person get them boss and this. But once na government property, we halakiam, we undermine government in go on before. And Saratel, na SLPP under Pakaba, na then kill them. So for the talk all that in there, so that this country will go before. Talk to side to concern and then talk the other thing. Then do the right thing. Who that do bad at this country, corruption especially, if offend itself na Panemba good.
All right.
The only way that the way salon go better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The thing about true as well, some people can pick and choose their own truth. Some man, depending on whose side they get in your own truth. So truth can't even be universal these days, and that's the sad part about public debate sometimes. But this is where we'll draw the curtain down on the show anyway. 9:33 from studio clock, and we'll continue this conversation and so many other conversations them here in subsequent shows. Mina Mohammed Jawad Nyali, many thanks to Choice FM. We've been live on TV here at Slick TV and Epic Radio as well. We've also been live online, so many thanks to the team out there, and we'll be back again here tomorrow. Goodbye.
Una not ready for the biggest enjoyment this Christmas? Join the biggest of all names, the #1 radio station as